the U.S. Commerce Department announcing this morning that it is adding Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corporation to the list of companies that are currently blacklisted from exporting U.S. technology, and the company is the largest chip maker in China. 60 other companies will also be added to this blacklist over ties to the Chinese military. Joining me right now in an exclusive interview is the Commerce Secretary himself, Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, joining us right now on the China threat. Mr. Secretary, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks very much for joining us. Tell us about these companies and why we should be understanding the ties to the military, Secretary. First, let's start there, sort of from 30,000 feet.
Sure. Well, there are 77 names that are being put on the list, of which 11 are related to Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corp, SMIC. 49 are other Chinese, and 17 are from countries other than China, also for similar national defense reasons. This brings the grand total on the entity list to 689 companies, of which 296 are Chinese and 150 of those are related to Huawei, the big 5G company. What this is all about is these are companies that are tied to the People's Liberation Army. SMIC is the largest semiconductor manufacturer in China, and a very, very big company at that. It is not cutting-edge technology, mostly very large nanometer dimensions, and nanometer dimensions are what tell you how advanced the technology is. So we've made a cutoff at 10 nanometers. Anything at 10 or below will be on the banned list. Anything above 10, which is what a lot of SMIC makes anyway, will be okay for them to do because they're not militarily very sensitive. Now, a nanometer.
Secretary, we should point out that the Chinese Communist Party has been very clear with its motives. They want to return China to being the #1 superpower militarily, economically, technologically, and that would mean overtaking the United States. Many of these companies that you're referring to are enabling them to do that, whether it be producing military equipment, Hikvision, using the video technology to track the Uyghurs and other religious minorities. But apparently, the Journal this morning is reporting about this pushback from the Treasury that Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin is trying to push back on the executive order that the president has put in place, maybe remove subsidiaries of these companies, not put subsidiaries on the blacklist so that investors can still invest here. We know that the MSCI as well as the FT have taken out these companies from their indexes. Can you tell us why the Treasury is trying to water down the president's executive order?
Well, you would have to ask Treasury themselves. The purpose of the president's executive order was to ban American institutions and individuals from trading in those securities beginning sometime next year. So that is one way to try to cut them off from access to American capital. We think it would be very strange to let American capital fund technological breakthroughs that will help the People's Liberation Army. That's really the underlying logic to it.
So what is the news this morning, Secretary? Will the president stay firm with this executive order, or are we going to see changes in terms of the subsidiaries of some of those Chinese companies?
Well, this action that we took does put 11 affiliates of SMIC onto the entity list. This has nothing to do with the trading. That was an action taken by DOD. What this has to do with is their access to very advanced semiconductor products. The smaller the number of nanometers in size, the more power is available for other things. So it's very important to get to smaller size. People like Taiwan Semiconductor and Samsung are down around 7 nanometers. Our cutoff here is at 10 because at 10, you can modify the equipment to make them down as small as 7.
Secretary, I guess the bigger question here is, are we going to see a change in the policy on China with an incoming administration? You know, this administration, yourself included, have identified the threat of China and identified the threat of China trying to overtake the United States. And in doing so, you have also been tough on China through tariffs, sanctions, prosecutions, etc. And this blacklist, banning people from investing and funding China's expansion. Do you believe that these things will be hard to overturn? Or do you believe that we're going to see an administration come in with someone friendly to China, like an ambassador to China being Bob Iger potentially, and an administration that sees China differently? Do you believe that it will be easy for a Biden administration to overturn everything you and your colleagues have put in place?
Well, anything done by executive order presumably could be revoked by a subsequent executive order, and actions taken by our department could be changed going forward. For example, we have put them on the list this morning, the SMIC, with a presumption of denial if someone applies for a license. A new administration could change that. But I would be very surprised, given the Hunter Biden controversy, I would be very surprised if the Biden administration would be all that lenient on China. That would be a very, very clumsy thing for them to do, to say nothing of the fact that it's a real national security risk if they did.
Right, sure. All right, Secretary, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks very much for laying it all out. Great to see you. Wilbur Ross joining us this morning on China.